Hello, guys, and welcome back to
Becoming
Gonzalez. I'm Jennifer.
And my name is Christopher.
Good morning, and I hope that y'all are having a wonderful day so far. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about memories from our past and also some future ones that have happened recently.
Okay. I'm excited. Christmas is just around the corner. We got our house looking all Christmassy with the blues and the golds and the silvers.
Yes, I love.
Done took Christmas photos already.
Yes, we just need to buy the cards and send them out to all the family and friends. So let's get started. In a childhood memory with each set of your grandparents, what would you say that you had a good memory with?
Well, my family lives in Texas. My grandparents live in Texas. So we would always go and travel to go be with them. One memory that I remember a lot is we went to Florida. We stayed in this beach house for a weekend or a week. And then the house was by the beach and they had a pool inside of the house. One of those small little jacuzzi pools.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were able to go over to Disney World. I think I might have been around 10 years old. That was a fond memory. And that was with my mom's mom went with us, and it was with my dad's parents as well.
Okay.
And then we would often, because my mom's parents are divorced, so oftentimes we would go over to stay with her dad, or he would come and visit us, and he lived in Illinois. And then other times we would go to Texas, and that's where her mom lived, and then my dad's parents live in Texas as well. But they don't live in the same city, they live in different cities. And we spent a lot of time in the small town called San Angelo. That's where my parents met each other. That's where they're from, San Angelo, Texas, in the middle of the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you'll drive for forever and there'll be nothing for a few hours.
Right.
And then, boom, there's this big town. Well, it's not super huge, but it's pretty good size.
Yeah.
I mean, they have probably like 5 Walmarts, so it's a pretty good size. Maybe not. Yeah, they got like 5 Walmarts. So it's grown a lot over the years. I actually really like it.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I didn't really like it, but when I go and visit now, I really do like it. I think it's a nice town to raise children.
Yeah, I remember one time you thought about moving there. I was like, what?
Oh, I got a funny memory. When I was in San Angelo one year, my parents had a van, and I was a teenager, and me and my dad got into this argument, and my dad had pulled out of his grandfather's driveway, and he was driving down the road, and I got upset with my dad, and I said I was leaving while he was driving. So I got out my seatbelt in the van, and I opened this side door that slides open. And I was going to hop out when he got to the stop sign. My dad was driving. My dad kept driving and grabbed my belt loop and was holding me in the car while I was trying to get out.
And he was driving.
Yeah. That was something.
Talk about stubbornness.
Mm-hmm. That was super dad right there. That was funny. Okay, Jen, so tell me a childhood memory of you with your grandparents.
Looking back, it's kind of funny now, but with my grandma and my tata, they would watch me sometimes. My mom would be there, but I would be doing something, and then I would have a small little attitude, and my grandma would be right there, and she had her wedding ring on. So she popped me in the mouth one time, and I remember, like, doing to, like, your lips, to, like, put your tongue right above your top lip and, like, make that noise, like you upset or something, and I was bleeding a little bit, and we all started laughing because I did that. Because the way that I looked, it was a funny moment.
Right.
Of a had to been there moment, but it wasn't fun getting popped in the mouth, but it's something that we look back on and we still laugh about to this day.
You probably needed it.
I did needed it. I know I did. I remember on my dad's side of the family, my great grandparents raised my dad, and they would always have these dolls, and I would always play with the dolls, and she would let me. And then my great grandpa, I called him Pop Pop, and so he would always have money in each of his hands, and he would be like, pick a hand. He would always do that with me. He would be like, pick a hand, and I would pick a hand, and I would get the money that was in that hand, and then sometimes he would give me both of the money that was in the hands. I think that was a very special memory, because every time I saw him, he always did that, even when he was really old and sick. I remember him doing that a lot. The last time I saw him, a couple years ago before he passed, I remember him doing that one last time before he passed away, and that was really nice. A thing to remember ever since I was little, like Gianni's age. But yeah. What is a memory with the in-laws early on? A funny memory.
I think one of the first times I met your mom, we had picked her up from Burger King.
From Burger King?
Yeah, was it Burger King? Or she went with us to Burger King.
Oh,
No, I picked her up from Kroger or something.
she was working at Kroger.
Right. And your mom was very expressive. When I first met her, she expressed herself a whole lot. And it was a nice change of pace to meet individual who, like, meet your significant other's parent and they don't be as, I guess, stuck up or serious about stuff. And we were in the dating phase. It was
really early on.
Yeah, it was really early on. So everything kind of, you don't really know what you like or what you don't like. And your mom just was really expressive, and that took a lot for me to get used to over time. She's one of those people who likes to say what drops in her mind at any given moment.
I think she's gotten better through the years, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. I usually am a lot more reserved, and so I had to learn to find my voice when it came to talking to your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What about with my stepdad?
John?
Mm-hmm.
John's a good guy. He's funny. He knows what he likes, which is something you can respect a lot. He knows what he likes and what he doesn't like, and he doesn't mind telling you about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, the older I've gotten, the more I've come to respect that as a man. He is confident in himself. And so more or less, he sticks to what he knows, but he's also assertive about what he knows and what he thinks is the best option for him and his family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that is important when you're a man leading a family.
Right.
And so that's something that I admire and I think is a good quality. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's, the older I've gotten, the more I realize that it's like in the man's nature to be a leader to his family. And sometimes to be a leader in your family, you got to do what you as the individual understands is the best for you and your family in that moment. And if you're a man who is driven to and fro and back and forth based on your emotions and not from a certain level of rationality, then it's going to be really tough for your family. Because if you feel one way about something, then you're going to do it. But then as soon as you don't feel that way, then you might change your mind. And that's not good for a man when you're trying to lead your family. And for all you young men listening, that's just a word of advice. If you want to be a better leader, then be confident in your decisions.
Yeah.
And that's not something that I was when I first met you. It's something I had to grow into.
We were young.
And even if you make the wrong decision, don't show what do you call it? Indecisiveness. If you make the wrong decision, you live with the consequences, and you don't make excuses, and you pick yourself up and you keep going forward.
Yeah.
Because the tough lesson is nobody cares about you and your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to hear that, but nobody cares about your feelings. You want somebody to care about your feelings? Go find yourself a therapist. Or go pray.
Yeah.
But nobody cares about your feelings. And the more you waste your time on your emotions and your feelings, you just delaying your problem and fixing your problem. If you could think about things from a rational perspective, you could hurry up and fix your problems. And I say all that to say that I think that John is pretty rational. And I think that my dad is pretty rational too.
What about my dad?
Your dad?
Yes.
Your dad's hilarious.
My biological father.
Your dad's funny.
Mm-hmm.
He's really, really dedicated to what he has going on right now with his girlfriend, Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a hard worker. He's working all the time. And he takes care of his business. And I didn't know him a lot before I met you. So I know you say that he went through a lot. But from the perspective of when he's here around us, when he's with our children, that's all that matters to him.
Yeah.
And so that's really, really, really good. Anytime we're with him, all he wants to do is be around Gianni and Alethea. And I think that's really great.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy saying that.
Mm-hmm.
A memory I have with my in-laws, I remember with your dad, he would always ask me how I'm doing on days that I know that I wasn't really myself, and he would know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him always, a memory that he still does to this day. I remember when he prays with me a lot, and he would, at church too, he would come and he would know that when I would be in a bad state or thinking about things or stuff that's going on with families, he knows it would bother me because he's been there. He's been in a state where that there was stuff going on with his family members, like it would clash, and he would always come pray for me. I remember one time during the holidays, he's like, "Are you prepared for all of this? All of this craziness?" And he's like, "You're about to marry into the Gonzalez family." And one memory I have with your mom, she's very dedicated in what she does. She lives for God to the fullness, and she would always give great advice, even when it's some advice that you don't want to hear, and coming from either of us, I think, because you've had times, but I remember her always telling me it is a process, but you gotta always trust in God. And
my mom tells it how it is.
She's very blunt.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's okay, because sometimes, I mean, you have to be.
Not sometimes.
What?
It's the most times.
Yeah.
This society thinks that calling people is the way to go. We gotta tiptoe around everybody and their feelings. And that is, in my opinion, completely false.
Mm-hmm.
So, think about it this way. If you think about the people in your life who would usually tell you it straight up, you got more respect for those people than you do anybody else in your life, even if they're not your best friend. And they may rub you the wrong way because they're going to tell you the right thing, but it's better to have those type of people in your life than anybody else, than those people who's always around you telling you you're doing awesome when you obviously not doing awesome.
Yeah. A memory that we still have to this day is organizing. So we always love to organize and go through do the girly things. I remember every time it was Hadassah's birthday, we would always go get pedicures.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice. It was a fun time.
So when we went to Arizona earlier this year, what was a good memory from that trip?
I enjoyed spending time with my grandparents, my dad, being able to see my dad and Dawn, and then also being able to visit a church there that our pastor has told us to go visit to. It's a very beautiful church. It's called, if you're in Arizona, the Phoenix area, it's called Valley Pentecostal Church. It's a very beautiful church. I remember on our way to Arizona, we had a bit of an issue with the weather. And you can explain that story if you would like.
Well, we were driving, and it was April. So we thought winter was pretty much over. And we were driving through, and I wanted to hurry up and get there because we had been driving for a few days at that point. And there was a snowstorm that started to happen, but we were driving through a mountain, and I kind of got mixed up and went through this mountain range instead of staying on the highway. And there was this one car that was waiting when we got to the Interpass, and I didn't know what was going on. I guess my wife kept telling me it was about to snow, but I think I was road fatigued, so I wasn't really paying attention.
You were like, it wasn't supposed to be this bad. You didn't tell me.
And so we kept driving on this road, and there was nothing on the left and right, just trees everywhere, and it was snowing.
You couldn't see if
and
there
was
a ditch.
one car behind us. There was no lights or anything, so it was black, and it was just snowing and snowing and snowing. And it hadn't even been cold up until that point or anything. We were just driving up a mountain or up the side of a mountain. And it snowed and snowed and snowed. And we would spin out a little bit, and then this other car would either be behind us or he would go in front of us. And we didn't realize that we were on a reservation. We were on Indian territory. And we didn't realize that Indians were following us.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of on our guard because it was snowing, it was pitch black, and there was this one car following us. But I think they were trying to make sure we were safe. But they were Navajo Indians, so at one point I had got out the car to use the restroom, and I wanted them to pass me because I thought they were trailing us. And they tried to talk to me, but they couldn't even speak English.
They thought you were Indian also.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And then we finally got to this small town in the middle of nowhere that had like one stoplight and 2 gas stations. And they didn't have a hotel. They had a motel. And I was going to keep going, but by then, Jennifer and my parents and her parents we had all been on the phone with all of them. And they all were like, y'all need to stop. There's a snowstorm. And your grandma had been on the phone with you.
Mm-hmm.
So we stopped in this motel.
It was 1 o'clock in the morning.
And we got a room. And we woke up this super old lady. She was nice, but she was discombobulated because she gave us a room that was used. And we were to the point where we didn't care. We just wanted to go to sleep. And then Gianni was throwing up. He was sick.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a lot going on that night. But it was awesome. The next morning we woke up and I went outside and it was beautiful, beautiful mountains everywhere. We were surrounded by these beautiful mountains that you couldn't even see in the pitch black of night. So it was well worth it. It was awesome.
Yes, it was. A memory with the children.
A memory that I have of our children.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's new memories every single day. They're always doing something funny.
Oh yeah, they are characters.
It's pretty cool because they don't think about anything but what's going on right in front of them. Like, they're not worried about finances. They're not worried about having cool stuff. They don't even care about nothing much except for unless they're hungry
Yeah.
or they want to go to sleep. And when they're up, they're just thinking about what's the next interesting thing that I get to do.
Yeah.
And I think that can be a nice way to try to approach life sometimes. Have an imbalance of your responsibilities, but also not get so caught up in your responsibilities. Understanding you have responsibilities, but still enjoying the life that you've been given.
Yes.
That life is not just a chore. It's supposed to be enjoyed. I think one of the things about that, though, is the kids don't spend as much time as we do on cell phones and on screens.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have this natural curiousness about the world around them.
Yeah.
They're not sucked into the TV screens and stuff.
What's this?
They enjoy being on the tablets and stuff when they get a chance, but I try to have a good balance where I don't let them be on it too much, because they really enjoy what they got going on by themselves a lot more.
Yeah.
It's like when you give a child too much candy type thing.
Mm-hmm. Memory I have with the children. I have so many, because they're growing. Like you said, they're growing every single day, and they have new things. I remember the other day, they had their play phones, and they were pretending to call my dad. They were like, "Pop, Pop, what you doing? How you doing?" And they would call their mama, which is my mom, and they would be like, "I'll talk to you, ciao ciao for now." Like, that's the thing that they say to each other. That's the thing that my mom says to them.
We have this charger. It's a wireless charger that you just put your phone on and it charges our phones. And sometimes I come home from work and I look on the charger and my daughter has her plastic little phone sitting on there. She is so funny.
Yes. And she'll try to, when I'm doing laundry, she'll be like, "Is this mine?" And I'll be like, "No, it's not yours."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "This is yours." And she's like, "Oh, that's pretty."
Uh-huh.
She'll do that, and she'll have her like head moving a little bit.
Right. She's very expressive and emotional, but for herself, Gianni's more rational.
Mm-hmm.
Gianni will be fine with just one thing. He'll sit in his room for hours playing drums or be on his, like, a truck or something.
Mm-hmm.
Alethea, she has to go around the whole house all day, trying to keep herself busy. It's so funny.
Yes. What is a wedding memory from our wedding day?
From our wedding day,
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty nervous.
You think?
Mm-hmm. It all happened so fast. We got married, and we met each other and got married in less than 3 months, right?
Just about. Somewhere around there.
Yeah. Everything was so different back then. It was like I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even realize, because I thought I was pretty grown at that age. I was 22, 23. And now
We all thought we
I'm
were
28.
grown. We all thought we were grown.
My goodness. Now look at us. It seems like a lifetime ago. we have these wedding photos in our house, and I'm looking at them right now while I'm talking, and it was beautiful. Our wedding was really low key. We didn't spend much money on it at all because we were broke.
Well, we wasn't broke, but
I know, but
we were spending our money
that's
wisely.
how I know you're not a gold digger, because there was no gold to be digging.
One of my favorite memories, I think taking the pictures was a fun memory.
Right.
I wanted a specific picture, and it was you being thrown up in the air by all of your brothers, your dad, and the two friends that you did have there.
Uh-huh.
And the first couple trial runs of that was funny. You about almost broke your neck, but we finally was able to get a good one. And I'm looking at it, and it turned out so great. Everyone's facial expressions of when you landed and when you're getting thrown up in the air. I think that was probably one of my favorites. I mean, I took a few nice pictures with everybody as well, but I think that was probably one of my favorites. I couldn't get thrown up in the air because, I might have flashed everybody. Don't need all that. So...
Okay, so to close out today's episode, the last
Since it's
memory
'tis the season right now,
that we're going to talk about is a holiday memory. What is a significant or fond memory you have of a holiday? It can be since we were together, or before you met me, or both, or what do you think?
I enjoy that it brings family together, even when sometimes there could be little heated moments of fellowship during the holiday as well.
Not so much now.
Well, I mean, in my past, before I met you, like when it was just my family. But I enjoy doing like the little games.
Eggnog.
Eggnog.
You don't like eggnog?
I used to, not anymore.
It's pretty good.
Well, I haven't had it in a long time, so I may like it.
I got some in the fridge.
I know you do. I like taking the family Christmas pictures. That's probably one of my favorites.
Oh,
it could be stressful.
We know.
It could be stressful. No.
I've gotten smarter over the years. We take them earlier and earlier every year.
Well, that was with us four, but I'm talking about with your side of the family taking the pictures.
Well, because there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
There's about 20
and
of us
And
now.
we're still growing because everyone's having babies.
Right.
There's still like 4 other siblings that haven't had children yet.
Yeah. I like going to my mom's house when she decorates. She goes all out with the Christmas tree. It was really cool.
Yeah. I could say the same.
Your mom, that one year, she got us all matching pajamas. Remember that? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember that too.
I remember when I first met you, I spent the night at your parents' house.
Oh, Lord.
Remember that?
Yes.
That was fun.
You were like, I've never done this before.
Yeah, I had a lot of firsts with you. You're welcome.
Yeah, my mom, I could say the same. I enjoyed watching my mom decorate as well. She would go all out. She's not able to do that this year because she's all the way on the other side of the world. But yeah.
It'll be well worth it down the road, though.
Yes.
Well, pretty soon we will be recording close to Christmas time, Christmas episode. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll have a guest speaker or two. Who knows? We'll see.
This will be our 5th Christmas together, huh?
6th.
You hear the children, they getting antsy.
Yes.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We're going to let y'all go, and we'll see y'all next week. Thank you for joining us here on Becoming Gonzalez. God bless.
And make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to your friends.